Okay, Mr. Chair, we are now streaming live on YouTube, and you can begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I appreciate that. And welcome everyone to the Transportation Committee. We have our second JF meeting today, and we have a few procedural items before the committee that we need to take up. We've had 4 public hearings. We've been able to advance 3 bills to date. We have 2 more on our agenda today that are receiving final action, and 4 bills to draft. As Transportation Committee has always done, we've conducted this business in a bipartisan manner. You can see that from the bills that we've passed out of committee to date. And I note that on our agenda is an issue that was raised by a member of the Republican caucus and a member of our Democratic caucus. In our bills to draft, there are 2 Republican proposals and 2 Democratic proposals. And we continue to operate our committee with that mindset, and I'm hopeful that we can continue to do that over the next few weeks as we move forward. With that, I extend any comments to Senator Haskell, our new co-chair.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Appreciate all the folks who have reached out over the course of the last few days. Excited to be working on this committee. Enjoyed the opportunity to participate in a bipartisan screening, and looking forward to getting to the business of today. So I won't delay the meeting any further.
Thank you, Senator Haskell. Representative Carney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Certainly looking forward to today's meeting. We'll be debating a couple of these issues, but it's always great working with you in a bipartisan manner on this committee, like we've always done. So I'm sure whatever happens with the bills as they move forward, we'll be working together to try to come up with the best language that will, I guess, make the most people happy. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Carney. And I know Senator Summers has another obligation. I don't see her in the room yet, but if she comes in, we'll certainly extend introductions to her as well. With that being said, let's move on to item number 3 on our agenda today, bills to be drafted. We have 4 bills before us. There is, all of them have received public hearings to date. We are desiring to put these 4 bills into legislative language to conform with our Connecticut general statutes. We'll have a lot of work over the next 3 weeks to get these in a position to be fully debated. But with that, we want to have a procedural vote to draft these 4 items that have already received a public hearing and now just await legislative language. Is there a motion on item number 1 for a bill to draft?
Senator Austin makes that motion.
Is there a second for item number 1 on the bills to be drafted?
Seconded.
Motion having been made and seconded, is there a discussion on item number 1, bill to be drafted? Recognize Senator Summers.
Yes, would you mind stating the title of the bill and the number for people that are listening? I think that would be helpful.
Of course, Senator Summers. The bill to be drafted that is under consideration right now is proposed bill Senate number 127, an act concerning the sale of electric vehicles in the state. This item received a public hearing about 3 weeks ago, and now we're just hoping to draft language that would conform to Connecticut general statutes so we can advance the conversation to the full committee.
Great, thank you, and I appreciate that for people that are watching this meeting. I am going to be a no on this because we had a public hearing and we did have discussion that we were not going to raise this bill this year, and that has changed. And I think that people that were informed that we weren't going to raise this bill were notified by the acting previous chair, and it puts us in a difficult position that we had made this decision, and now we are going back on that decision. That really has nothing to do with the merits of the bill. It's sort of procedural. So I just wanted to let folks know that I will not be in support of drafting it for that reason. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Summers. Representative Zupkis?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just have a question. So the intent of this bill, as I read the language that we have, is to have electric vehicle manufacturers under a different license and different regulations than our franchise car dealerships. Is that correct?
Yes, Representative Zupkis, I think that is a fair way to recognize the issue. We have a number of manufacturers who've come to market in the last decade who their entire business model differs from the business model that has existed for past decades. They do not utilize dealerships or franchisees as a component of that business model, and they are selling vehicles in almost every one of the surrounding states around Connecticut, but they are not eligible to due to Connecticut's treatment of that business model. And this legislation that we had public testimony on seeks to find a way to accommodate the sales of those vehicles in our state. It is my understanding that Senator Haskell, who is one of the chief proponents of this bill, has worked closely with others and will for the next 3 weeks to address a lot of the concerns that were raised at that public hearing. And I feel confident that we can have a product to fully debate before the committee, before our JFS deadline, if we're just given the procedural vote to draft.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair. And so in essence, and I guess more discussion for me will come if this is voted to be drafted, because I do have a lot of questions and concerns. I think there was a similar bill a few years back, and I did not support that bill either. So for that reason, today I am a no. I'd like to see what will happen, and also for procedural reasons as well. I will be a no today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Zupkis. Senator Austin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would just like to say that this is a procedural vote to get drafted language out there. This does not bind anybody to a vote in the future. And this is just a mere part of the process so that the people within viewing and hearing range understand that procedural votes happen in order for us to craft the language that addresses the needs and the concerns that come up in public hearings. I believe that when the language comes out, it will show that that many of those issues are being dealt with. So I just wanted to say that for the record, that this is a procedural vote in order to get the language drafted. It does not bind any one of us to support the concept or the bill going forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
And thank you, Senator Austin. Senator Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I understand this being the procedural vote, but I haven't dealt with this in the past as the ranking member. It looks like what's being discussed here has to deal with the excluding or these manufacturers or those that want to come into our state and bypass the current dealership franchise model that we could have here in the state, which was a consumer protection piece of legislation years back. I am going to be voting no on this for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Martin. And Senator Haskell, or Chairman Haskell.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I just want to say very briefly, as a proponent of the legislation, I am very committed to having ongoing conversations. I recognize that this is a discussion that's been going on for many years. I personally believe that we're at a critical moment in our state's history where carbon emissions are lower than they've ever been before. I hope that they don't go back to where they used to be, but instead we can get more electric vehicles on the road. And in order to do so, I believe some sort of compromise will be necessary. So I know members of this committee know where to reach me. I hope that we can continue to have conversations with car dealerships and many others who are stakeholders in this legislation. As Senator Austin, I think, so rightly noted, this is only a procedural vote to draft that would allow us to have that conversation in the coming weeks, a conversation that I view to be critically important. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Haskell. And I see we have a couple more that popped up. Representative Dauphinais.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just wanted to share my view on, I'm new to this committee, so transportation is a new committee for me, but I am concerned with the procedural part of this. As I understand it, there was an agreement made, and now we're now reneging on that agreement. And I have concerns with that. As I understand it, it's because of the change of leadership on this very committee, and I think that that's a problem for me. And otherwise, I would have given the bill consideration, but I will be a no as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dauphinais. To that point, I would just like to reiterate that this bill did receive a public hearing before this committee. The language for that public hearing was well discussed and debated at that public hearing. There were extensive communications and concerns raised that we would now seek to address. In screening, we had discussed perhaps in past weeks, we discussed maybe not moving forward with it. That decision has been revisited. We are still weeks away from our JF deadline. This conversation has continued to exist in the public ether. And so the chairs and ranking members discussed moving forward with a vote to draft. And I understand that it is controversial. This issue has always been controversial, but it wasn't a reneging of an agreement. I think that's an unfortunate perspective to have on it. I do understand that when we revisited this decision to move forward, folks may feel that it was gone from their consideration, but that we have a timeline that we're sticking to because we do think that this issue demands considerable attention from this committee, and ask to move forward so that we can put that time and energy into this bill that it clearly deserves. I do understand the concern, and I do, as a new member, feel like I owe you an opportunity to work on this bill for the next 3 weeks with us, and hopefully I can convince you that we've put the work in and it deserves your support. But I understand that I may not completely get there.
So, Mr. Chair, are you saying that there was no understanding that this bill would not be moving forward? Are you saying that that was not the case?
I'm saying that a decision that we had reached in the screening had been revisited, and we've decided to put this issue before the committee. And we think that decision is fully supported by the timeline that our committee is afforded. We have until March 29th to conclude our committee business. We're taking this bill up now in full advance, full 3 weeks before our committee deadline, and we're asking for procedural vote to draft so that we can continue this conversation. And that's where we stand at this moment, and that's the request that we have of the committee, is that you give us this opportunity to draft this bill so that we can further discuss it moving forward. And you would, of course, have your full right and authority to vote no if we can't absolve all of the concerns that you have. We'd like to be extended the courtesy to try and get to that point.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just trying to shed light on the fact that there was an agreement, and that's now being revisited. We had an agreement, it wasn't going to move forward, and we are now choosing to revisit it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Representative Dauphinais. And again, I would disagree with that characterization. Representative Meskers.
Yes. Look, I want to thank you for bringing forward the bill. I think there is a valid concern in the distribution model for electric vehicles, as opposed to the franchises that we've licensed in the state of Connecticut. I have purchased something on the order of 6 or 7 cars in my lengthy existence in the state of Connecticut as a resident. None of them have been electric, and they've all been through dealerships. Generically and particularly, my experience has been wonderful, and I support that business model for our retail sales in the franchise market as distributors. I didn't elect and build the Tesla company and their decision to use a direct sales and marketing approach to their business model. I recognize that that is the business model they have chosen, and it's within our system that's provided them with the ability to sell in every state virtually but Connecticut or 3 or 4 states. The problem becomes that consumers who are constituents of mine do not have a sales store and or repair directly in their neighborhood because they have to go out of state for that. Now, the tax consequences of that are de minimis in the short term because the sales tax on those cars that are registered and sold outside the state are registered and sold into Connecticut, and those sales taxes are paid to the state of Connecticut. So there isn't a loss of tax revenue from that. What is lost is the sales function in my state to my residents. So to the extent that the sales are happening in New York and New Jersey, someone, unless my resident is working at that store in New Jersey or New York, where those sales are allowed, I am left without the sales and the income tax revenue from those jobs created in the sale of the vehicle. So I lose that. There's a potential that the servicing and repair, et cetera, can, more of it will happen away from us as a relationship is established out of my state. So I can't tell you that I need to look at the details of the bill. I am concerned as I speak in favor of the dealerships and the model and the sales model we have in the state. I think we have to be flexible to understand what we can do in terms of protecting the people who have made investments in our community and have franchises. But I think we also have to look at how the business model rolls out. And unless we're going to prohibit the sale or the purchase of electric vehicles in the state of Connecticut by fiat, we are essentially telling people if they want to sell it, if the seller is unwilling to sell under the franchise model and sells it outside the state, the sales are all going to happen outside the state. So those sale jobs will only occur outside the state. Now, I know there's a push as to why they should be bending their will, but if the business model is working across the United States, we have a dilemma. So I'm looking forward to a robust conversation and a review of the language. So I thank you for this is not one of the fun things we get to do. This is a business legislative issue that's going to upset people who have vested interest in the franchise model, encourage people who want to purchase their cars directly. No, it's not we're not going to make everyone happy with the decision, but I think the thought that I trust you'll bring to the equation in the drafting of the bill will give us an ability to make a judgment when that happens. So I really thank you for that. And thank you for taking what I think is a thorny issue.
Thank you, Representative Meskers, and I appreciate the trust to allow us to draft this bill and put it back before you for full consideration. Representative Thomas, followed by Representative Zupkis for the second time.
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, I think Rep. Zupkis had her hand up first. But
yes,
it sounds like she's saying
Thomas.
it's okay for me to proceed, so thank you. I just wanted to state I'm a new member of this committee, so I will be voting yes to draft this bill. As Senator Austin outlined, it's just for us to have further discussion. As a new member, as someone who sits on every other committee that is looking into the future, how is economic development changing? How is the business community changing? I think it's important to always have these discussions on an ongoing basis because culture, environment, things change. And also, I think there are parts of this that have not been discussed as of yet based on transcripts of past
commission meetings. For example, I think it's interesting. I personally have never purchased a vehicle from a dealer because not in Connecticut, but in New York, when I went to dealers in the beginning, I was discriminated against. So as a result of those early experiences, I never wanted to give my business to a dealership. Now, I'm not trying to impugn Connecticut dealers. I know many of them who are great, but these are the types of discussions that I think this body is here to pursue. So I'm very happy that the chairs are allowing for this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Thomas. And Representative Zupkis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the second time, and Representative Thomas, not a problem whatsoever. I too am new on this committee, and I also understand that how you vote now doesn't necessarily mean how you vote going forward. I completely understand that. I will say I agree with Representative Meskers, and I am not against having Tesla or any other electrical vehicle sold in Connecticut. I think it's a great opportunity. I think people want it. However, I just want to say, I think that this is a business decision and it needs to be fair across the board. So Senator Haskell, maybe we can do away with the franchise laws or change those to make it fair to fit everybody. So everybody can play under the same rules. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. And I believe that that exhausts the hands that have been raised. Representative Carney, I believe I recognize that this will need to be a roll call vote. Do you feel similarly?
Yes, this needs to be a roll call vote.
Terrific. All right. With that, we will call item number 1, which has been motion being made by Senator Austin and seconded by Senator Haskell. The item on the table is proposed Senate Bill item number 127. Mr. Clerk, could you procedurally guide us and then call the roll?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 127, an act concerning the sale of electric vehicles in the state. The action is a vote to draft. Chairman Lamar?
Representative Lamar votes yes.
Thank you. Chairman Haskell?
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Vice Chair Cassano? Cassano? Vice Chair Sims?
Representative Sims votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Ranking Member Carney?
Carney votes yes. Representative Carney votes yes.
Thank you. Ranking Member Senator Summers?
Senator Summers votes no.
Thank you. Senator Doherty Abrams?
Senator Doherty Abrams votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes? Senator Lopes? Senator Needleman? Senator Needleman? Senator Austin?
Senator Austin votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Senator Kissel? Senator Kissel? Senator Martin? Senator Martin?
Senator Martin votes no.
Representative Berger Gervalo?
Nailed it. Representative Berger Gervalo votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Blumenthal?
Representative Blumenthal votes yes to draft.
Thank you. Representative Chafee?
Representative Chafee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Concepcion? Representative Concepcion? Representative Conley?
Rep. Conley votes no.
Thank you. Representative Goupil?
Representative Goupil votes yes.
Thank you. Representative McCarthy Vahey?
Representative McCarthy Vahey votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Meskers?
Representative Meskers votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Michelle.
Representative Michelle votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Morandella.
Representative Morandella votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Reyes. Representative Reyes. Representative Rosario.
Rep. Rosario votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Smith.
Representative Smith votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Steinberg. Representative Steinberg. Representative Thomas.
Representative Thomas votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Dauphiné.
Representative Dauphiné votes no.
Representative Devlin. Representative Devlin.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Representative Devlin votes yes to draft.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes yes to draft.
Representative Haynes, I'm sorry, your camera is not on. Could you please turn your camera on, identify yourself, and cast your vote again?
Sure, sorry, Phil. Representative Haynes votes yes to draft.
Thank you very much, Representative. Representative Harrison. Representative Harrison. Representative Labriola.
Representative Labriola votes yes.
Thank you. Representative O'Day. Representative O'Day. Representative Rabimbas. Representative Rabimbas. Representative Zawistowski.
Representative Zawistowski votes yes to draft.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Zupkis.
Representative Zupkis votes no.
Thank you very much, Representative. That has concluded the roll as present, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We've had numerous requests to keep votes open until 1 p.m. to accommodate members who may be in other committee meetings at this time. Moving on to item number 2, is there a motion on proposed bill number 576, vote to draft?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Representative Carney? Sorry, Representative Carney, I think there may be a willingness to consider this for consent.
Yes, yes. I'd like to start a consent calendar.
Mr. Clerk, I think we'd like to, if they're seeing no opposition, we can place this item on the consent calendar.
Mr. Chair, I hate to interrupt. It appears Senator Summers has her hand raised before I place this on consent.
I apologize, Senator Summers. I apologize. I missed that.
No issue, no worries. I hate to be a stickler. Do you mind just reading the title of the bill for people that are watching? Because people keep asking what bill is that? They know it by the title, not necessarily the number. Thank you.
Of course, Senator Summers. I think that's it's a very fair request. Before us, motion been made and seconded is Senate Bill number 576, which is an act concerning the expansion of passenger rail service on the Waterbury branch of the Metro North Commuter Railroad. Again, this is just a bill to draft based upon the public hearing that we received a few weeks ago in this committee. Before us is a motion to place this item to draft on the consent calendar. Seeing no opposition, I move this item onto the consent calendar. Item number 3, proposed bill, Senate Bill number 241, an act concerning oversight and transparency at the Connecticut Port Authority. I would like a motion to be made a second to consider this.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion being made by Representative Carney and seconded by Senator Summers.
Mr. Chair,
Representative Carney?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we move this item to the consent calendar.
Seeing no opposition, this item is also moved to the consent calendar. Item number 4, proposed Senate Bill number 605, an act concerning the Connecticut Port Authority. Again, this is an item received robust public testimony just a few weeks ago. Welcome motion and second on this item.
So moved.
Seconded.
Item moved by Senator Summers and seconded by Representative Meskers, I believe.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we move this item to the consent calendar.
Thank you, Representative Carney. Those items being items 2, 3, and 4 without opposition are added to the consent calendar. Mr. Clerk, I think we can just take a voice vote on bills to be drafted. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I believe that's correct. Just to remind members of the procedure, if all members could please turn their cameras on so that I can identify everyone on camera, and then using the space bar to cast your vote, you can unmute yourselves.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All of those in favor of the consent items under section number 3, bills to be drafted, which include proposed bill SB 576, proposed bill SB 241, and proposed bill 605, please signify by saying aye.
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 And any in opposition? Seeing none, those items pass. Moving on to item number 4, bills for final action. Under item number 4, we have item number 1, SB 608, an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream from a frozen dessert truck. Do I hear a motion?
Move to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion being made by Senator Cassano and seconded by Representative Finns. Is there discussion on this item? Before the committee, you will see JFS language.
You're not getting your
that we have to pick up at the time, I think. Mr. Clerk, if we could try to mute, I'll find some folks to mute here as well. Before the committee is a JFS language that was submitted in advance of this committee meeting, and it reflects a number of concerns that were raised at the public hearing on Monday and addressed by our LCO attorneys in language. We know that there may be a few technical changes that we need to make to this bill as we move forward. Determination was made that we wanted to act quickly in response to a deficiency in our current laws that we think we can address maybe by late March or early April even, by advancing this bill to the Senate and House floors in an expeditious manner. The testimony was hard for a lot of our members, and it was certainly difficult for the family that was most impacted. And I appreciate the consideration that we have to try to move this bill quickly. If there are questions about the JFS language, we can certainly talk about it here today. But our goal is to move this consciously forward and have the best piece of legislation in place as soon as we can, and hopefully provide the necessary guidance and regulation moving forward in our state. With that, I recognize Representative Bello. Senator Haskell, then Representative Bello.
Well, thanks so much, Mr. Chair. I'll just say very briefly how grateful I am to the bipartisan group of lawmakers who have been advocating for this, and really first and foremost, the family of Tristan, the young man who lost his life in an accident in Cheshire. I was incredibly moved by this public testimony, and I believe that this legislation is not just reactive, but is in fact proactive, and folks may see that there are elements of this bill that would come into effect as soon as this coming summer. We know that it's going to be, as the temperatures rise, it becomes an increasingly busy time for ice cream trucks. And I'm very committed to making sure that we try to pass this legislation prior to the summer season. So just wanted to add my 2 cents and to thank all the lawmakers who have been working on this issue. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Haskell. And excuse me, Representative Bello, go to Representative Carney, then Representative Bello.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just pretty much echoing the comments made by you and Senator Haskell. Obviously, I'm very supportive of this legislation. I'm very happy we were able to move on this so quickly since we only had the public hearing on Monday. But certainly Tristan's parents gave extremely powerful testimony, and I want to make sure that we can get this done quickly through both the House and the Senate. So again, I'm very happy to see this pass so quickly with bipartisan support, bipartisan introduction, because certainly many issues, especially issues like this, rise above partisan politics. So thank you for working alongside everybody to get this done in such a speedy manner.
Thank you. Representative Bello, followed by Senator Martin.
Thank you, Chairman Lamar. The testimony was absolutely gut-wrenching, and as a parent, my heart breaks for the family. I fully support this bill, but I did have a question regarding lines 47 through 51. There were speakers that discussed rearranging the wording on the signage, and I didn't know if that's been reviewed or if it'll be discussed on the House floor. Being new to the committee and legislature, I didn't know how the process worked, but there were plenty of speakers who had concerns about how the language appeared on signage. And I just wanted to know if that had been addressed or when it's appropriate to address that.
Thank you, Representative Morin Bello. And I think that's safe to say that is the issue we spent a lot of time on in screening, talking about and reviewing the images of the sign and what the potential changes to that sign could be. We will continue to look at that. We felt the sign, when you see it physically, is easier to understand than how it's written out in the legislation. And if we provide visuals, which we'll hope to do to everyone as we move forward, what that sign looks like, it becomes clearer why the sign that we've chosen makes the most sense, and it is similar to the language that exists on signs in other states. And so that's we felt comfortable having that level of consistency in the signage, and that it corresponds with our state laws. We will, look, we'll continue to look at this, and if there's a better language out there, we will certainly incorporate it. But we didn't feel we needed to make the change in the legislation at this point based upon the information that we had.
Thank you. I appreciate that explanation. Reading it in a text format, it appears confusing, but seeing it on a sign may make that confusion go away. Thank you.
Senator Martin.
A quick question, it's more procedural than anything. Being a ranking member of the Children's Committee, this bill was in front of us yesterday, had a public hearing on it, and I agree with everybody. It was very heartfelt in the pain that the parents went through, and the whole community actually. But my question is, most likely that bill will come out of the Children's Committee as well. From what I'm told, it is the identical language. What will happen from there?
Thank you, Senator Martin. We're trying to move quickly so that we can get this done. I'm certain once all of these bills hit the floor of the House, we'll be convened together. I mean, this is a Senate bill, so I'm sure all of the chairs and interested parties will come together and work on the best language and try to move the bill as quickly as possible. I don't think there's any, sort of pride associated with it being a transportation bill or a children's bill or an insurance bill. I think we just want the best product done as quickly as we can in advance of this summer. You have our commitment, Senator Haskell and I, Representative Carlin, Senator Summers, have all committed to spending the time necessary to get this done as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Meskers, followed by Representative McCarthy.
Thank you, Chairman Lamar. I want to just thank everyone on the committee. I joined transportation. I thought we'd be wrestling with financial issues about the infrastructure and how we pay for rebuilding the state. And so one of the first things when we sit here in front of everyone is we get a family who suffered a devastating loss, and they turn around and they take that loss and they deal with it. And then they publicly come to us and ask us to address an issue so that other people won't suffer the way they've suffered. And I think that that deserves our recognition and acknowledgement. And I think it also, to all of us, I would say that as we jostle and we argue for our positions and our politics, I think here we show a sign of our common humanity and our concern for the residents of the state. So I want to thank you for ushering and shepherding this bill through. And I want to thank the committee for their, support of the bill. Thankfully, my children now are 27, 25, and 23. And I think past that age and past that risk, but recognizing that we're dealing with it, I think it's so important. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you, Representative Meskers. Representative McCarthy-Vahey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And I would echo the comments of Representative Meskers. I want to thank the leadership of the committee. I think Senator Cassano first addressed when he spoke at the hearing the other day, the importance of moving quickly. And the family, Tristan's parents, his mom and dad, their bravery and courage is just overwhelming in the face of the grief that they are dealing with, and the friends and others in the community who came out in support. I look at this bill as one of the many things that we can do to help protect what we call vulnerable users. And I'm really glad that we are moving forward on this now, and that we have other measures that we are discussing to help make sure that kids and all people who are vulnerable when they're out interacting on the roadway with vehicles are going to be safe. And I also just want to again express, as I did during the hearing, the amazing compassion that was shown towards the driver of the vehicle, and the fact that we must pass laws that help to put infrastructure in place and education in place that will assure safety. But in addition, we all have to change our own behaviors, beginning with ourselves, and I include myself in that as well. So I thank you again, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to support this effort. And I know the sound of summer, the bell on the ice cream truck ringing, and what child doesn't go running. And so the fact that we can do this will help assure that other children will be safe in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative McCarthy-Vahey. Now I just close by thanking committee members. I know that issues like this are hard during a public hearing, and I found myself many times struggling hearing the testimony and equating the situation that family felt with, what would it mean for my family to experience a similar loss. So I know the heartfelt compassion we all felt for the family, and the challenges we face when we consider legislation like this, to separate our roles and responsibilities as lawmakers from just our feelings as parents, as humans. And I appreciate that everyone's been able to spend the last 2 days in screening. Our staff, I specifically want to highlight Katrina Stratton and Heather Poole, who spent a lot of time researching this issue, looking at best practices across the country and trying to develop policy that Connecticut can support. And so I'm just deeply appreciative of this committee and how we've handled this issue and our willingness to move quickly. I want to say thank you to everyone on it for. With that, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the bill number and LCO number that we are voting for?
Senate Bill 608, an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream from a frozen dessert truck. The action is JFS with LCO number 44855. I believe that's the number I have in front of me. Chairman Lamar.
Representative Lamar votes yes.
Thank you. Chairman Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Cassano. Senator Cassano. Vice Chair Sims.
Vice Chair Cassano votes yes.
Senator Casano, could you try that one more time? I didn't get you on camera.
Senator Casano votes yes.
One more time, Senator. I'm sorry, it's having a little bit of issue.
Senator Casano votes yes.
Okay, thank you. I see you on the gallery there. Representative Sims.
Representative Sims votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Representative Carney.
Representative Carney votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Summers. Senator Summers. Senator Doherty Abrams.
Senator votes yes.
Thank you, Senator. I do see you on the screen. It was a little broken up, but I do have you there. Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Needleman. Senator Needleman. Senator Austin.
Senator Austin votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Senator Kissel. Senator Kissel. Senator Martin.
Senator Martin votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Berger Gervalo.
Representative Berger Gervalo votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Blumenthal.
Representative Blumenthal votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Chafee.
Representative Chafee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Concepcion. Representative Concepcion. Representative Conley. Representative Conley.
Conley votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Goupil. Representative Goupil.
Representative Goupil votes yes.
Thank you. Representative McCarthy Vahey.
Representative McCarthy Vahey votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Meskers.
Representative Meskers votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Michelle.
Representative Michelle votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Morin-Bello.
Representative Morin-Bello votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Reyes. Representative Reyes. Representative Rosario.
Rosario votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Smith.
Representative Smith votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Steinberg.
Representative Steinberg votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Thomas.
Representative Thomas votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Dauphiné.
Representative Dauphiné votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Devlin.
Representative Devlin votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes yes.
Representative Harrison.
Representative Harrison votes yes.
Representative Labriola.
Representative Labriola votes yes.
Representative O'Day.
Representative O'Day votes yes.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Rabimbus. Representative Rabimbus. Representative Zawistowski.
Representative Zawistowski votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Zupkis.
Representative Zupkis votes yes.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, the roll has been called on Senate Bill 608, an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream from a frozen dessert truck.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And at the conclusion of that, I just wanted to also thank again for the extraordinary work that Representative Fishbein personally did on that bill. It was introduced in a bipartisan way with many co-sponsors and a lot of folks who put a lot of work into it. Representative Fishbein certainly went above and beyond in the work that he put into that bill with the family, and I want to thank him personally for that. Moving on to item number 2, HB 6485, LCO 4886, an act concerning the Connecticut hydrogen and electric automobile purchase rebates. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I think that was moved by Representative Michelle and seconded by Representative Sims. The LCU, before everyone, there is JFS language based upon the public hearing testimony we received a few weeks ago. This language is simply requires the Connecticut Hydrogen Electric Automobile Purchase Rebate Program Board to study ways to equitably distribute the funds in the program. There's models across the country that we'd hope for them to consider and come back and report back to the Transportation Committee for our consideration on ways that they could make that program an equitable allocation of those dollars. Secondly, it adds electric bicycles to a list of vehicles eligible for the rebates. The board itself had motions before it to consider electric bicycles and potentially offer small rebates to e-bike purchasers, but the DEEP staff were concerned that the legislation was unclear if e-bikes were vehicles, and this attempts to address that concern. With that, I see questions, Representative Dauphiné. And Representative Dauphiné, if I am mispronouncing your name, please feel free to highlight my pronunciation skills being deficient.
Dauphiné is good. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the time. I just, outside of adding the electric bikes, can you just differentiate what's in existence now to what this bill, the changes in this bill would be going forward?
Sure. The only substantive change that is in statute would be clarifying that e-bikes are vehicles eligible for the program. The other components of the bill are just saying that we want a study by this board to be delivered back to the Transportation Committee by the beginning of next year, February 1st of 2022, to look at how other states are administering this program and their funds. We have an under-subscribed program at this moment, meaning that the dollars that are eligible for rebates are not being fully utilized. And the state has made a substantial commitment to this program. And I think understanding ways that we can better utilize the program and innovative ways that other states are reaching their targets would be useful for this committee to undertake. And that way we can see if there's further actions that our committee would like to pursue in guiding the cheaper program moving forward. So it's a study, come back to us, show us how other states are hitting their targets and why we're undersubscribed.
So thank you for that. So you're saying that the what we're currently doing isn't fully being utilized, and you're looking for ways to do that, and hence is the reason for the study. And then based on testimony with regard to the electric bikes, you were adding that in. Is that correct?
That's exactly correct. Thank you for more succinctly stating that I was saying, Representative.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Of course. Representative Duffius, followed by Representative McCarthy-Vega.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a couple of questions being new to this committee. The rebate board, who are they? When was it? How are they determined? When was it formed?
So the cheaper program was established, I believe I'm going to get some of the history wrong on this, but for current stake in 2019, this committee reinstituted the cheaper program, and we established this board to oversee program elements, rebate terms, and how we could advance the purchase of electric vehicles and make that available to a wider range of potential constituents. The cheaper program had been in existence for a few years. It was largely through private donations, one-time gifts, and we thought we could stabilize the program and add equity and expand the pool of potential purchasers to it. So we reconstituted it in 2019 on a bipartisan basis through the committee, and then it was included in the 2019 budget. And then the board itself, we thought would be representative of different industry folks, advocates. DEEP commissioner chairs the board, and they could help divine and research appropriate rebate levels that they see across the country. A lot of states have a similar program in place, and most of them are fully subscribed. Like they set aside $5 million, they spend $5 million. We set aside $3 million, and we undersubscribed for 2020. This bill is trying to get us to a place where we fully understand why we're undersubscribed, and we know there is pent-up demand. I hope that's.
Thank you. No, it did, and I can appreciate trying to get different people in the pool and getting more electrical cars. So I can appreciate that. Where is the grant money come from?
It comes from a fee. Sorry, it comes from a fee included on new vehicle registrations.
Okay, so people that have electrical vehicles and people that don't both pay this fee that goes into this pool of money. So everybody pays into it.
Sorry, yes, Representative, that's correct.
Okay. And can this money, does the board have the authority to just make the rebates and disperse this money in any way they see fit? Or does this have to come back before us, the Transportation Committee, the Finance, or appropriations, or anyone in front of the legislature?
It does not. Sorry, let me make sure I'm answering fully the question at the time. This board is authorized to spend the dollars up to $3 million that are allocated to it under program terms that they establish and approve.
Okay.
And those expenditures do not need to come back before the Transportation Committee. We get updates forwarded to us, and it was based upon those updates that I thought we needed as a committee to have greater understanding and oversight over what is happening.
Great. Okay. Thank you for all of that. It's another study, which I don't want to say is harmless, but it's another study. I think I'll quote our old friend, Representative Belcito, 19,572 studies. I don't necessarily see that we need to make a law to have a study done. However, I will support it getting out of committee, but I just don't think that, I think this group can do it on their own without us creating a law to do that. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Zupkis. Representative McCarthy-Vahey.
Thank you, Representative Lamar. And as I have said so many times during this committee process, I really appreciate your leadership on these matters. These things are all connected. And I specifically wanted to point out, I appreciate the changes with the JFS language, looking at the issues of equity and specifically electric bikes. That's, I think, tied to the issue of equity. And I certainly appreciate the advocates who have continued to let us know how important this is, particularly in communities where people can't necessarily afford a vehicle. An electric bike is actually a way for people to be able to get to and from where they need to go in a more timely fashion. And, with COVID, we kind of learned that it's good to be able to have options outside of the bus or the train or other means of mass transit. So I just want to thank you. And I also want to say specifically, I do support requiring that this study be done. The board is chaired by DEEP, who's a tremendous partner with us. There have been questions from them in terms of the clarity. I want it to certainly be looked at, and I want them to know that this is a priority for the legislature for us, and that we, I hope, can come back and say that we will be supporting electric bikes as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity to support this bill in this amended way, and again, for your leadership on this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And thank you, Representative McCarthy-Vahey. Senator Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I understand the need for clarifying the electric bike portion of this piece of legislation. I think it's important for us to do. What I I guess I scratch my head regarding the study aspect of this. It seems like we've given the authority to this board to design basically what the funds will be used for. And currently they are providing some rebates or credit rebates regarding the purchasing of electric vehicles. However, I don't understand why they just can't do it within their own to offer rebates for the equitable portion of this that seems to be missing. So I guess for that, that I'm just confused why they're just not doing that on their own, and we need to tell them, hey, listen, we need to do these funds equitably. You guys should be doing that. I just don't get it, but I am going to support this. I think to clarify the electric bike portion of this is important. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Martin. Seeing no other questions, Representative Carney or Senator Summers, is this item? I'm sorry, it's the only item, so I think we have to roll call it anyway. So, Mr. Clerk, could you please prepare the committee for a roll call vote?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, members will need to turn on their camera, identify themselves, and then cast their vote. The vote is House Bill number 6485, raise bill and act concerning the Connecticut hydrogen and electric automobile purchase rebate. The action is JFS LCO number 4886. Chairman, Representative Lamar.
Representative Lamar votes yes.
Thank you. Chairman, Senator Haskell.
Senator Haskell votes yes.
Thank you. Vice Chairman, Senator Cassano.
Cassano votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Sims.
Representative Sims votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Representative Carney.
Representative Carney votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Summers.
Senator Summers votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Doherty Abrams. Senator
Doherty Abrams votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Lopes.
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Needleman. Senator Needleman. Senator Austin.
Senator Austin votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. Senator Kissel. Senator Kissel. Senator Martin.
Senator Martin votes yes.
Senator Martin, could you try that one more time?
Senator Martin votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Berger Travalo.
Representative Berger Travalo votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Blumenthal.
Representative Blumenthal votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Chafee.
Representative Chafee votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Concepcion. Representative Concepcion. Representative Conley.
Conley votes yes.
Representative Conley, could you try that one more time?
Representative Conley votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Goupil.
Representative Goupil votes yes.
Thank you. Representative McCarthy Vahey.
Representative McCarthy Vahey votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Meskers.
Representative Meskers votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Michelle.
Representative Michelle votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Morin-Bello.
Representative Morin-Bello votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Reyes. Representative Reyes. Representative Rosario.
Representative Rosario votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Smith,
Representative Smith votes yes.
Representative Steinberg.
Representative Steinberg votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Thomas.
Thomas votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Dauphiné.
Representative Dauphiné votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Devlin.
Representative Devlin votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Haynes.
Representative Haynes votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Harrison.
Representative Harrison votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Labriola.
Representative Labriola votes yes.
Thank you. Representative O'Day.
Representative O'Day votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Rabimbus.
Representative Rabimbus votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Zawistowski.
Representative Zawistowski votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Zupkis.
Representative Zupkis votes yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, that completes the roll call for this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and thank you, committee members. That does exhaust the items for vote on today's agenda. We had a request from numerous members to keep votes open until 1 p.m. We'll make that, there's no objection, we'll make that 1:10 p.m., give people a full hour to get into the clerk and cast their votes. With that, I would recognize Representative Carney or Senator Summers. Do you have any closing remarks for today?
Nope, nothing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Of course. Senator Haskell.
Nothing at all. Looking forward to being in touch with committee members about some of the issues we discussed today, and have a great day, everybody.
And I'll say the same. Thank you, Senator Haskell, and thank you everyone on the committee. There's still a lot of work before the committee that we'll have to accomplish before our JF deadline in 3 weeks. Votes remain open for today until 1:10 p.m. at this link. So anyone who may have missed the vote to draft on item number 1 or either of the votes for final action, please see the clerk at this link before 1:10 p.m. We will now stand in recess until 1:10 p.m., at which time the meeting will adjourn. Thank you all, everybody.
Phil, are you still there?
Yes, Senator, I'm right here, and just as soon as members are finished entering and exiting, I will call you and a few others, including Representative O'Day, I see there, and I believe Representative Rabimbus. All right, just to make it easier on all members, I will call the bills in order of the agenda and just call members I'm missing votes on. The first bill is Senate Bill 127, an act concerning the sale of electric vehicles in the state. The action is a vote to draft. I am missing votes. Senator Cassano?
Yes. Senator Cassano votes yes to draft.
Senator Cassano, could you say that one more time? I'm just going to switch to speaker view to make it easier, or grid view.
Senator Cassano votes yes to draft.
Thank you very much. Senator Lopes?
Senator Lopes votes no.
Thank you. Senator Kissel?
He's not present.
I do not see Representative Concepcion. I will go down. Representative Harrison?
Sorry. Representative Harrison votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Steinberg? You still?
Representative Steinberg votes yes.
Thank you. Representative O'Day?
Phil, what did my ranking members, how did they vote?
I have your ranking member Carney voting yes in favor and ranking member Senator Summers voting nay.
Let me pass. I'm going to make some calls. What's the next one? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm actually going to move to Representative Rabimbis on the same.
Representative Rabimbis votes no.
Thank you. The next bill are both items for JFS. The first is Senate Bill 608, an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream from a frozen dessert truck. The action is JFS LCO number 4855. Senator Summers,
I vote yes.
thank you. Senator Needleman, I do not see you here. Senator Kissel, I do not see you here. Representative Rabimbis,
Representative Rabimbis votes yes.
thank you. That is everyone in the chat. Representative Morin-Bello, are you still here? Mr. Chairman, we will need to get her last vote on the ice cream. Oh, I'm sorry. I just have it. It was just a little blurry. Representative Reyes is the last member. I believe we need to vote on that bill, and Senator Kissel from Senator Austin's caucus, and Senator Needleman from Senator Haskell's caucus. Moving on, the next bill is House Bill 6485, an act concerning the Connecticut Hydrogen and Electric Automobile Purchase Rebate, also known as the CHEAPER program. The act is a JFS LCO number 4886. Senator Lopes, I have you. Senator Kissel is not here. Representative Concepcion is not here. Representative Reyes. And I believe that's it for all members who are here currently. I will wait and try and contact the members individually who are missing votes. Senator Martin, I see your hand up.
Yes, did I miss the consent vote, calendar vote?
It is possible. Consent calendar votes were undertaken by a voice vote, and I have the voice vote measure as passed.
Okay, I believe I voted on all the other bills.
Yes, I believe I have you on all those bills. You'll just give me one moment.
Sorry.
No problem. Yes, I have you on all the other bills.
Okay, I will exit at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Is there a representative who believed they might have missed a vote? And I can double check you all right now.
So Representative Harrison, am I good with you?
Representative Harrison, I have your vote on Senate Bill 127. I have your vote on Senate Bill 608, and I have your vote on House Bill 6485. It looks like you have voted for all actionable items, or voted on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very well.
We all know how this is going, right?
Representative Dauphin, I see you next on my screen. If you'll give me a moment, I believe you have also voted on all the bills that are actionable. Yes, you have.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had to get off for a call, but thank you. Thank you very much, Philip.
You're very welcome.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. And I see Representative Rabimbis on the screen as well. Representative, I have your votes on all actionable items as well. And Representative Berger Travallo, I also have your votes logged on all actionable items. Mr. Chair, I will remain in this room, but I will be muting myself to reach out to some members who have missed a vote.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Representative Concepcion, how are you?
Phil, how are you? Sorry I'm late.
No problem. We have votes held open until 1:10. There are three bills for your action today. The first is Senate Bill number 127, an act concerning the sale of electric vehicles in the state. The action is a JFS, or I'm sorry, the action is a vote to draft. Now that your camera on, Representative, you could identify yourself and cast your vote, Representative Concepcion.
Representative Concepcion votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much. The next two bills are both JFS. The first is Senate Bill 608. It's a committee bill, an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream from a frozen dessert truck. The action is JFS with LCO number 4855. Representative Concepcion.
Representative Concepcion votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much. And the final bill is also JFS. It is House Bill number 6485, a raised bill, an act concerning the Connecticut Hydrogen and Electric Automobile Purchase Rebate, also known as the CHEAPER program. The action is JFS for LCO number 4886. Representative Concepcion.
Representative Concepcion votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Representative. And you are now, you have taken action on all actionable bills. You are all done.
Thanks very much. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Representative.
Bye-bye now.
Hello, it looks like Senator Needleman and Representative O'Day are back.
Hi, Phil.
Yeah.
Hello, Representative.
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Oh,
very
sorry.
good.
Let Representative O'Day go first. He was ahead of me.
Okay.
Um,
Representative O'Day, I
sorry.
got you on my screen anyway, and you only have one vote, so why not? The one vote I have outstanding for you is again on Senate Bill number 127, an act concerning the sale of electric vehicles in the state. The action is draft. Is a vote to draft.
Yes. O'Day votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Representative. And I
Thank
believe
you,
you are
Senator
now
Needleman. Sorry about that, but thank you. Have a good day.
very welcome. Thank you. Senator Needleman, you have action to take on three bills. The first bill is Senate Bill 127, an act concerning the sale of electric vehicles in the state. The action is a vote to draft.
I vote, Senator Needleman votes yes to draft.
Thank you. The next bill is Senate Bill 608. It's a committee bill. It is an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream from a frozen dessert truck. The action is a JFS LCO number 4855.
Needleman, yes.
Thank you very much, Senator. The final bill is a House bill. House Bill number 6485, raised bill, an act concerning the Connecticut Hydrogen and Electric Automobile Purchase Rebate, also known as the CHEAPER program. The action is JFS LCO number 4886. Senator Needleman.
Needleman, yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And you are all set. You have taken action on all the actual items.
Thank you, Phil. You have a
You're
great
welcome.
day.
You as well.
Take care, Will. Bye-bye.
Representative Reyes, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Phil?
Very good. Representative, are you able to turn the camera on your phone?
Yep.
Perfect. Perfect. I see you. So we have 3 bills for you to vote on. I'll go through them in order if that's all right with you. The first is a vote to draft. It's on Senate Bill 127, which is an act concerning the sale of the electric vehicles in the state. Motion was made by Austin, seconded by Haskell. Representative Reyes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Representative, if you could just introduce yourself as your full title before casting your vote.
Okay. Representative Geraldo Reyes from the 75th District votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much. The next bill we have is a JFS. It is Senate Bill 608, a committee bill, an act concerning the safety of children when buying ice cream trucks from a frozen dessert truck. The action is JFS LCO number 4855. So far, it is voted, every member has voted in the affirmative.
Representative Reyes votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much, Representative. And the final bill for you is House Bill number 6485. It's a raised bill, an act concerning the Connecticut Hydrogen and Electric Automobile Purchase Rebate, also known as the CHEAPER program. The action is a JFS with LCO number 4886.
Reyes votes in the affirmative for that one as well.
Thank you very much, Representative. And you are all set, and you have voted on all the bills for action today.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. Have a great week. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You as well.
Yep.
I have the time as after 1 p.m. and the meeting is now closed in accordance with the